trouble, you came to the right place.
Nothing like having our face plastered across the screen like that.
When it said you're I felt like a Borg.
All right, guys, how y'all doing? Who we got here? Sorry we're late. We were having a little bit of chat. Got away. Time got away with us. So, oh shit! Come on, I gotta mute that sucker over there. We were having a little bit of chat. Got away. Time got away. Okay, shut up. I got the replay over there so I can monitor it whether it goes off screen.
Yeah.
And I need to change one thing here.
Yeah, see, we have Charlie here, we have Patty here, we have Jamie here.
We got the gang, man.
Everybody's here.
We had a great inside the studio today, man. It was the one with "Is It So Strange." Remember that one, Cam? It was so haunting.
Yeah.
That was such a good one. All right, who else do we got? Go ahead, Joe.
I listened to your decoded one. I wish I was in on that one. That was interesting.
Yeah, you should join us on that. What we're going to do next week on Decoded, for those of you who don't, I got something else I need to mention, but on Decoded, we're going to watch Decoded, and at the end of Decoded, we're going to jump into the Zoom like we did last week with the one autopsy video, and we're going to watch the movie Finding Graceland, because there's a discussion about that in the book Decoded, and there's some interesting stuff. So join us. Come on, you got to join us on the Decoded. Not only do we talk about really stupid shit, so there's a lot of stupid shit in the book. It's just like, I mean, we'd have a discussion about pajamas for about a whole show one day, huh?
Yeah.
So anyway, and another thing I want to bring up here before we really get into the interview. So Joe and I were talking the other day, and you guys remember back when we were the Blue Moon Boys with me, Rich, and Cam. So Joe's becoming a regular with this show, and we're discussing like Decoded, but he's a part of our team now, and we need a nickname.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this.
So what we want to do is open it up to you for suggestions. And I don't know where Lori is.
Yeah, but it's because we're all handicapped. That's what you got to come up with a name, because we're all handicapped. Like
somebody made
Ironsides, something like that.
Somebody made a suggestion on the my radio show at noon yesterday that we should be called the Gummy Guy.
The Gummy Guys. Yeah, but he ain't got no gummy here.
Yeah, I know. If he doesn't have any gummies.
Yeah.
So, anyways, think of something cool related to what we do, and then we'll put it up for vote, and then we can start making graphics and put our faces on mugs and soup bowls and bongs.
Lee and I used to have a name. They used to call us something because we're both handicapped too. Anybody that's in here that used to listen to the show, if you can remember that, please let me know, because I've been banging my head trying to remember that.
Natalie just come up with a pretty cool one.
That's not bad.
Ironsides.
I said that.
That's not a bad one.
I said Ironsides.
Did you?
Yeah, you're ripping me off. Elvis,
you're parading our viewers.
He's laughing. I'm thinking it's a he because I said it.
It's a she.
She's laughing because I said it, and she thinks I'm good looking.
Look at Patty's. The Gumsters.
The Gumsters.
The Gumster. I like that one personally.
I think the gummies would have the opposite effect with me. If I had to take a gummy, they would take me to normal.
Yeah.
I used to get paranoid when I smoked. I used to get paranoid.
She was repeating what you said. That's why she said that.
And
she wasn't.
I've never really done well with normal. I've always preferred to be on the little bit crazy side, the unconventional, the nonconformist. All the stuff that makes people's hair stand on end. If I can do that, then I'm happy. I don't think I do good with normal.
Yeah,
that's why you get along with us.
Yeah,
people have always said I was abnormal. So,
but then again, I've always said, who decided what normal is anyway?
There you go. Hey, I got something to tell you. If I can do it real quick.
Yeah, it's the floor's all yours, bud.
Do you remember? I don't know. A few weeks ago, we were talking about going upstairs in Graceland. Oh, we should go up there and blah 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 blah. There's pictures that everybody knows and seen a million times. Well, about on 10 years ago, there was a guy that I interviewed, and he was selling some photos of upstairs of Graceland out of the 60s that have never been seen before. So I had just missed purchasing these. A woman purchased them, and 2 days ago, she decided that she wanted to move them along, and I purchased these photos of upstairs in the 60s at Graceland. So I can't wait to see them, and I can't show you. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
What a
Gonna
cool
hoard 'em.
thing to
Gonna
have.
hoard 'em.
That would be that would be really cool to be the owner or something like that. 'Cause, yeah, there's not. I doubt that there's probably about the only pictures out there.
Well, you know who did it? Their electrician did it, and that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
How would you like to have an electrician that goes up into your home and takes pictures of your friggin' house?
yeah,
Because I met that electrician when I was at
yeah,
Vernon's.
yeah. Especially Elvis's house, but mine alone. I'd be walking and go, "What are you taking pictures of the nightstand or my bed or, you know?"
When I was at Vernon's, I met this electrician, and he said, "Well, I got photos upstairs." I thought it was full of shit, and here down the road, I end up getting this guy's photos.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll have to do a show on your. We'll go to your channel and you do a show on what you have. The collectibles. We need to do that one day. Put something together and
One day.
that'd be kind of cool. Do a kind of a show and tell.
Would be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and for those of you who we won't talk to tomorrow or who, um, I make happy Mother's Day to everybody. I
Yes.
don't know if we'll see you tomorrow or what,
When
but
is that?
tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Mother's Day's tomorrow. So
Thank you.
happy Mother's Day. I'm going to do a little thing from my mom tomorrow, just show a few pictures of her that I just recently got. My mom had left for me, and my brothers. That's one of the things they brought down to me because of the actual photos, the Polaroids and the old cameras that they used to have. So I got some pictures of her back 56 and 57. It's really cool.
This would be the first Mother's Day without my mom, actually, come to think
Oh,
about it.
wow.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That was hard. Yeah. My mom just passed away about 3 years ago. And yeah, still, Oh, today, I got to mention this real quick. Then we'll get into the interview. So today, Cam, we were doing I was watching Inside the Studio. And we recorded that on February 2025, that show. We did the replay. And during the show, I turn around and I'm giving a doggy bone to Dugan.
Oh.
And I said, "Hey Dugan, hey Dugan." Well, we put Dugan down a month later.
Oh,
He just got old and all that. And he used to, these other two do the same thing. They're all the same breed. And he always came in here to get a treat while we were going live, and he's always in here, and I'd stroke his head for the longest time. But he got to the point where he couldn't walk, and so we finally had. It was 1 month later, but it kind of touched at my heart when I heard myself say, "Here, Dugan." So that was just kind of a. But there was a great inside the studio. Got to watch it. That inside is it so strange? Watch it, and you better watch it with listen to it with headphones because you'll miss what we're talking about in this. It's unbelievable.
no. Vangelo 18 says, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Says Janae LeMay, Dumas is the last name. Took pictures of upstairs, bedroom, and bathroom. No one in the pictures at Graceland and one of California houses did it when Elvis was on tour. You know, a lot of people get mad at her because I interviewed her, Janae LeMay Dumas.
Today,
Yeah,
we
whatever.
tried to watch her one day, we couldn't do it.
Dumas, and people were pissed at her because they actually slept in the bed together too. Her and Priscilla did, and they said that Elvis gave them permission and knew that they were taking photos.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, it's Vangelo.
huh?
Well, I guess that's what I've always said. I call her Vangelo, but you never know. You never. Anyway, I'm going to digress. The gummy's kicking in. So That's cool, man. To be able to own something like that, you know.
I guess it's a different story if you got permission from him and to do it. Then it's a different story.
Well, it's like, I'm
Well,
sorry.
well, she did an interview with somebody, and she created this video. It's called. It was like the a Beauty and the Queen or something like that. And what was the Elvis one? The the King and the Beauty Queen, or something like that. The
Oh
one
yeah,
movie they made where Linda Thompson met, and
yes,
and Don Johnson played Elvis. Oh my God, you know, that was one of the worst. But anyways, we all tried to do one of the movie watches with her on one of our live watches. We couldn't get through it. The freaking woman would not shut up, and she never let the interviewer ask questions. She just kept talking and talking and talking in that voice, and we finally cut it off. Elvis and the Beauty Queen. Thank you.
there we go.
Let me see. Evangelo says, I doubt that he'd give permission. I know he gave her permission to take a picture of him and Lisa Marie. Well, we'll never know.
Yeah.
No,
If I find out that anyone would ask a person, can I take a picture? It's
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
bingo. Yeah.
Can I picture of your house? Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah. 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 That's my commode.
Yeah, that's my bathroom right there.
Yeah.
We'll make history one day. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the video. So we got it's actually a three different parts to to Joe's
Yeah.
interview with Sonny. So give a little backstory on it, and we'll get it going.
Um, he's another one of those you don't really have to ask questions. He just goes and goes and goes and goes, and you can figure out that he's having a good time. And I know people dislike him because of the book, but I found him extremely nice. He was very nice to me, and even after the interview, we were always he was always very nice to me. The only thing is, there was a couple of times with the phone that I would keep losing him, and I kept expecting him not to pick up when I called him back. I mean, like
Yeah.
two, three times, and he was extremely nice about it. That that he picked up. And what else? Oh, right when we got toward the book, there was a problem with the tape because this was done years ago, and there was a problem with the tape. So we lose that part. And I was so pissed. It's the same thing when I interviewed Dee and she talked about her book and then came around and said that Elvis never did sleep with his mother. And that was lost as well. So
Oh.
that's what happened here too. So there's going to be a jump, but that's in like the later part of the interview. So enjoy.
All right, here we go. Part one, Sonny West.
Yo,
Hey,
hi, Sonny West. How are you?
hey, Sonny. Man, I'm looking forward to talk to you for a long time.
Yes, Danny. So I've just been so busy working on this series idea that we've got, getting the development ready and the funding and everything for a reality series that we're doing. So,
What is the series going to be about?
well, it's about the. It's called Sing Like the King, and it's about the fans of Elvis's around the nation, and actually it's going to be going around the world that can sing like him, but are not tribute artists, not impersonators, and they're not professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a chance for those that can sing like him to audition, and if they make it and win it all, then they will get $1 million, a new Cadillac,
Wow.
some other gifts, plus
That's a lot, man.
the ultimate thing is the winner also gets to perform live on stage at a hotel in Vegas on stage with musicians, singers, and people that actually performed with Elvis in either the studio or on stage.
Well, that sounds really cool. So they can show their stuff. So.
Oh well, no, we'll release a CD on that or a DVD on that. And everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just. But the primary thing, Joe, will be the stories of these individuals. That's they're the stars, not Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
We're not using his image or anything. We're just letting them sing the songs that mean something special to them, and then we hear their stories, how they became Elvis fans, or what they did to become this, or just really interesting stuff. And there's going to be a lot of it, because I meet a lot of them when I do my shows that tell me what it meant to them him what he meant to their mother, how their mother got them on to listening to Elvis, and they've become a biggest fan. And it's just some of them talk about how at their funerals, their mother's funeral or something, they tell me that how great thou art and different things. So these are things that we're just going to ask them, why does that song mean so much, whatever song they're going to sing, and just get them when the co-host hear something in an area there that sounds like there might be something to that story that might be really warm or fascinating or very funny, whatever the case may be, and then they'll just stay on that area and in that area with them and proceed and say, well, tell me about that,
What was that? What's that question, Joe? Did you ever?
No.
Did they ever do the shows?
No.
I never heard of it.
No, it would have never worked anyway.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to use anything of Elvis, yet they use Elvis in the name of the title of the show. Come on now.
Oh. Wow.
And then these are the things that'll be on. They'll show before the person gets up there and sings.
Now, will you be a part of the show too, or just?
No, I'm not going to be in it. I'm executive.
Come on, Sonny.
Yeah.
You can be on it. Come on.
Oh well, I'm going to do one thing on there. I probably will do a little bit of something for about 3 to 5 minutes or something every show. We're not sure whether I might tell something about a story, an anecdote, or this or that. But also, I'm going to introduce the when we get down to the final 20 in Vegas. Excuse me. We're going to have celebrity guest judges come on.
Oh, cool.
Like hopefully Tom Jones, Bruce Springsteen, and
Early.
and then people from
A lot of
the
wishful
Faith Hill
thinking there.
and her husband Tim.
Yeah.
As a couple doing 1 week, and we're going to get them to come on there, and I'm going to introduce them. Because I came up with an idea that we're going to get them to perform their best impersonation of Elvis. Not just sing a song in their own voice, but try the best they can.
Right.
They will be competing for a charity amount to go to their favorite charity.
Wow.
And so that'll be 20, and that'll be like a 3.5 minute segment where they do that we'll have each week once we start going. We're at the finals in Vegas when we get it down to the final 20 people.
When is this going to happen?
It's going to be really a lot of fun. I think they'll enjoy it, and the winner will get a certain amount to his charity, and the other 19 judges will get equal amounts, smaller but equal amounts to their own favorite charity. So it'll be fun.
When is this going to happen, Sonny?
Well, we're in negotiating with some people right now. Well, actually, one person that in Branson that owns a large theater there, and we're talking with him. He's very interested. It's just what he wants versus a percentage that is being offered and everything. So we should find out something, I hope, in a couple of weeks from him. And at that time, then we're going to shoot, because his theater is dark for a week there at Labor Day, starting on that Monday, and dark for a week, so the 3rd through the 9th. So we're going to hopefully shoot then and get it. We've got a network that we were talking with, actually, Joe, that tried to buy this fellow out that came up with the idea. And they got up into the 7 figures, and he went out.
Wow.
So they made him promise. So that's when, but then when they finally agreed to that, then they started him hawing around about creative control, him being executive producer, having the final word. And so finally we talked with this other guy about it, and he said, you know what? He's a producer-director. He said, why don't you get the funding up, make your own pilot, you own it, and then you can work your own deal with the network.
Well, it sounds like something I would enjoy.
Oh, you would, Joe. I promise you, people will be tuned in, because especially people that are in the Elvis world that have met so many people from around the world at Elvis's or through emails or through something, and for them to watch and see all the people in this country, how many great singers there are that can imitate Elvis very good, but they have another way of life. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're plumbers, they're carpenters, they're bus drivers.
Yeah.
I mean, and the only requirement is 21 years of age or older.
Are you going to do like what American Idol does too?
Oh, jeez.
You know what the
you edit. We should start editing, especially because what this was I think it started out as a telephone rant. He's just
yeah.
talking back and forth, and we're gonna have to do that, like edit the beginning or something. Some of these because this has happened to some of the other ones too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's not. I mean,
I feel bad about it though.
are you kidding me? Some of the things that we put on this show, this is top notch. It's the conversation that makes it great, and it's great conversation. So I wouldn't worry about it. Do you know around when you did this or?
No,
Okay.
such a long time ago.
When you do so many like that, I'm sure it's hard to.
Yeah, and I don't remember yesterday. I mean, seriously, I'm not good with time. I lose days. I do because of when my brain swelled, it went to memories. Right where the spot where the memories, I think they said like right in here.
Oh.
And it's stolen a lot of my memories and short-term memory as well.
It was right about the time Roy Acuff was born.
That's it.
Yeah. Good one there, Cam.
He was there.
Bad
All right, here we go.
ones?
Show bad ones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
We're going to get some weirdos, but we're not going to let them. They will not appear in jumpsuits.
Okay.
But if they show up in a Jailhouse Rock uniform or something like that, like a costume like that that's away from the Elvis image or something,
Yeah.
that, at the audition, if they show up like that or made up like him or wearing a wig like him or something, we'll film that. And if it's funny, it'll be funny. But if it's totally ridiculous and silly to the point that it's not even amusing.
Or just downright mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And our judges won't be mean or anything to them.
Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds cool.
It's going to be a fun show, and I think it's going to be a big hit. I really do.
I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Sonny, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, where you grew up in that, and what your parents did?
Yeah, I grew up in Memphis. I was born and raised in Memphis. My dad, when I was a baby, he did a couple of jobs. He was worked at the Hotel Peabody, or the Peabody Hotel, in the garage parking cars. People would pull up, and he would take the cars down, park them in the garage. And then he also was a cab driver. He was for a while when he first got there. He was a trolley driver. They had the electric trolleys back then. And then he got into house painting, and he started doing that, and that's what he did for over 50 years, was a house painter. He got a really good reputation and had several crews working for him, and it got where Daddy just went from job to job, checking on him, make sure everything was going good. And as he got older, after about 20 years of it, and he didn't have to do that much, except maybe to go out and finish a job up, so that he would finish it on time, make sure it was finished on time with his contract and his word to the people. He'd work all night if he had.
No. You did this last time. People come in and say hi, so Cam and I go like this.
Oh, I did do that. I did.
We'll do this from now on.
The Queen, we'll do the Queen's wave.
The Queen's.
Is that what you just did?
No, I did just do that.
You're the one that did it.
Yeah, we're gonna get a whole new chat conversation going on here.
God.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I forget what I did now. I went like this.
Oh, okay.
I did the 11.
How's that?
Okay, we digress.
Again.
It done.
Yes.
So he just got a great reputation. My brother started working with him when he got out of the Army, and he took over the business from Daddy. And in fact, my daddy was still going out. He was so good at going out and just looking at a job and giving an estimate on it, not just looking at the walls or square footage. He could visually know in his mind, and he would give an estimate to it. So Billy, my brother, would give him a 10% commission of what the job was going to be.
What do you got? I know your other brother. How many kids are there in the family?
Well, there was just one brother, and then there was 4 sisters. And I've got all my sisters, but I lost my brother about 3 years ago.
Okay, now what is Red to you?
Red's my first cousin. Our dads were very close brothers. They were very close. They were one of, I think it's 6 boys or 7 boys, and I know there was just one girl, Aunt Maybe. They had one girl, and the rest were all boys. So, in fact, Red's father, my Uncle Tom, he's the one that came and took my dad off of the farm at 18 because he was the only boy left, and his dad was working to death, and everything was on him. And I got to tell you, my granddad on my dad's side was not a very nice individual. He used to whip those boys with horsewhips.
Oh, my God.
Out in the barn.
Mm-hmm. Now, was Red a lot older than you?
Huh?
Is Red older than you?
Yeah, he's about 2 years or so older. I'm 3.5 years younger than Elvis. I think we're a year and a half younger or something, you know.
And do you remember Elvis in school at all? Did you go to the same school?
I did for 2 years in the 7th and 8th grade, and I do not remember him. I don't remember meeting him or even seeing him in the hall because, you know, your friends, when you're that much younger, your friends are your friends in the 7th and 8th grade. Now, we knew who the football players were, the stars.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know the lineman and something like that, but we knew the quarterback, who he was, and recognized him, or the running back or something. But there again, in the trenches, man, as it is today, you hardly recognize them.
Right.
You know their name when you hear it, but you hardly recognize them like you do a running back.
Yeah.
It gets a lot of press or quarterback.
So when did you first hear about Elvis Presley?
Well, the first time I heard about him was when I was listening to a show when I was like, I guess, maybe 14 years old, 15. It was in 1954.
Mm-hmm.
In the summer there, late summer, I heard on Red Hot and Blue, I heard That's All Right, Mama.
Boy, I would kill to hear that show. No one taped it. I would kill to hear that show.
I don't think we had tapes in.
Yeah. Oh.
We didn't have tape recorders. They did it at the studios, but they didn't have them out there with individuals.
Mm-hmm.
But he introduced him because Elvis sounded black, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he introduced him in a way that was not racial at all. Because he played mostly black artists with the rhythm and blues and everything like that, you know, Rufus Thomas and different people. And so he introduced him as a recent graduate from Humes High School.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody knew right then from that introduction that Elvis was a white guy.
Yeah.
There was, segregation was still going on, of course, in 1954.
Mm-hmm.
So he sang that song, and then I thought, wow, you know, that's a different sound than anything I'd been listening to on there. And then later after that summer was over, back in the fall, I was at Tech High School, where I'd gone to, and since we'd moved away out of the area from Humes, and I'm coming out after having lunch. I'm walking out onto the campus there, and he comes walking up the steps there at the front of the school on Poplar, and no one knew who he was, what he looked like. They had a guitar with him. He came up and introduced himself, and some of the people, you know, probably had been listening to the station too, and some of the girls, there's about 15 of us sitting around there together, and he introduced himself, said, I'd like to sing a couple songs. I just recorded these, and you might, if you listen to Red Hot and Blue, you can hear it on there, you know. And he sang some songs. He sang that song.
Wow. Lost power for a second.
I thought so.
What? Did you lose power?
My power went blank. They didn't shut the internet off, but it knocked off. It just knocked me off. It was really weird.
See, now I've never heard that story before. How he went up, introduced himself to Sonny. There was 15 other people there, and he said, "I just did a song on Red Hot and Blue, blah 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 blah. Can I sit here and do some music?" I've never heard that before. Have you?
I've never. Well, I didn't hear it. So.
Oh, did you? Oh, you just go back a little. Just an.
Almost back 2 minutes. How's that? A little bit more?
No, that should be about it.
Right in from that introduction that Elvis was a white guy.
Yeah.
There was segregation was still going on, of course, in 1954.
Mm-hmm.
So he sang that song, and then I thought, wow, you know, that's a different sound than anything I'd been listening to on there. And then later after that summer was over, back in the fall, I was at Tech High School, where I'd gone to, and since we'd moved away out of the area from Humes, and I'm coming out after having lunch. I'm walking out onto the campus there, and he comes walking up the steps there at the front of the school on Poplar, and no one knew who he was, what he looked like. They had a guitar with him. He came up and introduced himself, and some of the people, probably have been listening to the station too, and some of the girls, there's about 15 of us sitting around there together, and he introduced himself, said, I'd like to sing a couple songs. I just recorded these, and you might, if you listen to Red Hot and Blue, you can hear it on there, and he sang some songs. He sang that song and some others, and he jumped around even then.
Wow.
And some of the girls were looking and kind of snickering and smiling and everything, and the guys were looking and thinking that here's a crazy guy, But
I've never heard that story before, and I liked Sonny, and I don't remember that story. When you interview somebody, you just kind of into it so much you don't really hear anything.
Yeah.
I questioned if that story was real, because that would be a story that would hang in Elvis history. What do you think?
Yeah, I always heard that Red was responsible for the introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
That's what I've always heard.
yeah, because that story would be a great one in books and stuff.
Yeah.
Would be thrown in movies, Can I sit and he was wiggling even then, and well, he would have been anyway. So
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of that one. All right, here we go.
it's just, I liked him right there, and I thought, wow.
So you were a fan right away.
Exactly. And the next time I saw him was when I was out in Tucson in the Air Force, and he did a concert out there a couple of years later, and I think it was '56 at the rodeo grounds there. And he came in. It was an exciting show, and I just thought, wow, man, that's that guy from Memphis. He's just unreal.
Mhm.
So, I got out of service, went home, and then he's getting ready to go to Germany a couple of years later. And Red invited myself and my sisters, which three of them, because my other sister was much younger, to come out and meet Elvis at the Rainbow roller skating rink for a private party that Elvis was throwing. He threw him there quite a bit. And we went out and met him, and I was very impressed at how friendly, how warm, and how really he was as a person, just like you and I are talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, God, man, this is a big star, Here he is just acting like everybody else. So we hit it off that night, and then he was getting ready to go to Germany. Red was going with him. Red had just got out of the Marine Corps, and he was going with him, and he just told me, he said, Sonny, Elvis likes you a lot. And he said, I'd like for you to come out and see us when we get back. And I said, oh, okay, I will. So I just continued my job that I had and everything, and when he came home in 1960, I went out there after a week or so to let him settle down and say hi, and next thing I know, within 2 or 3 weeks, he asked me if I wanted to go to work for him.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think about the first time you saw Graceland?
Oh man, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I saw it in '58 the first time when I went out there and drove by there,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in the service when he bought it in '57. So that's the first time I saw it was in '58. After I met him at the rink, I went out there and drove by it. I thought, man, that was really a mansion on the hill, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I was really taken back, and the next thing I know that, I'm living there.
Wow. Would you live downstairs or out back, or?
Well, we started off, Joe and I Joe Esposito and I shared that room in front on the opposite side of Elvis's room over there. As you look at the front of Graceland, he's in that top right, and Joe and I shared that room on the top left.
Wow. Wow.
And we shared, and his grandmother
closet
was in the room behind.
it later became his closet, Elvis's closet.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always knew that. I've said that several times to people, and I don't think they ever either believed me or it just went over their head. That's what that was their bedrooms.
Yeah, that extra room up there, he later pulled that out and became his
Yeah.
closet.
Damn. Never ending what I learned.
Joe and I. And
You know what I love? I know they probably don't exist, but wouldn't it be cool to have the original set of prints of Graceland?
Oh, you mean like,
Oh.
The construction prints.
yeah.
Graceland sold those. I never understood. No, was it Graceland that sold them? I think it was.
The original ones? Wow.
Yeah. It was like people went crazy.
Oh my God. That's up my alley, and I would love to sit there and look at just the different and compare it too to today's standards for code, building codes, and all that. But it's just like, of course, nobody would give a shit about that. But to me, it's kind of cool. Um,
I
yeah,
like I like looking at them from the perspective I can get a relative understanding of size
the
perception.
layouts and all that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the pictures I got coming is a picture of Elvis's closet. So I don't know.
Oh wow.
We'll see. Yeah. I wish there was a way I could show you guys without.
God, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Well, we'll have to think about that. We'll figure out. We'll come up with
Come
something.
and visit y'all. Now, Cam, it might be a little harder, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
they wouldn't let me in the country.
Well, well, we'll talk about it afterwards. I got a couple ideas. All right. Kathleen, you having power storm too?
I'll
Well,
go-
be safe. All right, here we go.
That lady became Lisa's room
Mm-hmm.
because when Elvis's mother died, he moved Grandma downstairs to what was his mother's and dad's room on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, like I said, that room became her room in '68 when she was born.
When Elvis's mother passed, it really devastated him. Did it throughout his whole life?
Yes, he loved her dearly. That's something you don't ever forget. I think of my mother often, and
Mm-hmm.
my mother and I were very close, as me and my dad were also. We had a great mom and dad that we loved, but there was something unique with Elvis and his mom, being an only child, being a twin, the twin not surviving, and it's like she thought she had this precious gift, and she just poured love on him, and he got all these good things from her warm, giving nature, her sweetness, unselfishness, just everything in the world good and everything in the world bad. I think he got from his dad. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, how was Vernon?
Vernon wasn't a very Vernon.
Well,
I don't want to speak badly about him, Joe, in any way other than
it was almost like he was getting ready to say something and he caught himself.
Vernon was an asshole.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
did. It sound like that to you?
I
Yeah.
wonder if it has
And
any-
Vernon was then he restarts the sentence. What's he? 17. I got to go back at least 30 seconds.
I wonder if it had anything to do with them being shit canned by him.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would
That'd be
imagine
the
so.
first. That would be the first thing coming to mind when you mentioned Vernon or whoever, in their perspectives, destroyed their lives. Okay, so I went back about 35 seconds.
we had a great mom and dad that we loved, but there was something unique with Elvis and his mom, being an only child, being a twin, the twin not surviving, and it's like she thought she had this precious gift, and she just poured love on him, and he got all these good things from her warm, giving nature, her sweetness, unselfishness, just everything in the world good and everything in the world bad. I think he got from his dad. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, how was Vernon?
Vernon wasn't a very Vernon.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak badly about him, Joe, in any way.
I don't want to speak badly.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Other than what I would say to his face, and he just wasn't a really warm person. He
Yeah,
kind of was
get
cocky.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of developed an attitude. He didn't like us guys, any of us, very much at all.
Really?
None
Jeez.
of us. Oh yeah, he was none
Well,
of us.
I got to say something with that remark. I think Vernon had a right to have an attitude towards of these guys.
Yes.
He saw it he saw what was happening and knew he couldn't say or do anything about it. As Elvis said.
But he didn't dislike all of them. Look, we know for a
Well,
fact now that he liked Stan
Yeah.
Thompson. He liked.
Yeah. No, I don't mean all of them. I'm just talking about looking back at the ones who were. I didn't mean the whole group of things because I'm sure he got along with, like you said, Sam Thompson. I don't know. I would say Charlie probably and Jerry and some of those.
He put Charlie out as soon as Elvis died. So
Oh, did he really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Bye,
I knew he left quick.
bye, Dunkin'. Forget it. It won't work now. Tell me if I'd give you a little support or Dunkin' Donuts. That would be a good one, huh? What's wrong with you?
I'm trying.
He put Charlie out just almost as quick as Elvis passed away. He told Charlie he needs to get out.
There we go.
And Charlie, you know, God, for him to say that to Charlie, that's anyway.
Yeah.
So he just wasn't a very warm person or a likable person. He had an kind of a, like I said, a cocky attitude, and he just wanted to make sure that he drew that weekly paycheck.
Mm-hmm. How was Dodger?
I loved her.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this out of school, but Elvis told me himself. He says, you know, Dodger really likes you, Sonny. She says you're her favorite. Because I would go in there and sit and talk with her.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go in there and sit with her. And I'm not talking about for 5 minutes. I'd go in there and she'd be sitting in that one big console chair she sat in. I sat in the chair across from her, and we'd sit there and just talk. And she'd tell me things about her life, and she'd tell me about, you know, I asked her about her ex-husband. And I knew I touched something that got, she goes, I don't want to talk about him. Wait a minute, wait a minute. And I would just ask her, I said, so I'd get her, and she would just, she'd get all uptight about him gallivanting around.
Oh, my goodness.
He was a dapper guy. I met him in Louisville, you know.
Yeah.
When we played there, he was living in Kentucky, and he came to the show, and Elvis, of course, saw him because it was his granddaddy. And he
Grandpa
didn't see him
Jesse.
often, and he was just this lively
What's
a
that?
guy.
Grandpa Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on, you remember that old show, What's Your Line?
What's my, yeah?
What's My Line? And they had to try to guess what he did, and he was out there and they were talking, and
Is Elvis your grandson? Yeah.
yeah. And he's out there with that, I swear to God he had a water tobacco in his mouth.
Can you can you imagine the conversations that was taken at that lazy boy chair type thing?
I was just sitting here thinking exactly the same thing.
Well,
Imagine how cool it must have been to have been able to sit there with them
mhm.
and just have a regular old conversation. And what you do? No, no, Elvis running around upstairs. He's busy. I'm sitting downstairs talking with Grandma.
Or Elvis
Oh,
coming down and getting down on his knee and talking to Dodger, and Donna being there talking to Don to
Yeah.
Dodger soft.
Yeah, Minnie May lived longer than Vernon, right? Or lived past Vernon. She died after Vernon, right?
yeah, she died 79.
So she was at that time that Sonny was probably talking. Well, no, this is take that back. So when she passed, she was the last person who would have been with Elvis his entire life.
Yes, pretty much.
There was nobody else older than her. There was Gladys was gone, Vernon was gone, and who else would have been there his entire life?
Yeah, other than Grandma, I don't
Yeah,
think.
that was it. She was the last
Oh,
person,
Lester.
huh?
And
Yes.
Uncle Vesta, maybe.
Uncle. Oh, that's true. That's true. He died after Minnie May, didn't he?
Hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're right. It's just there's so many of those that I wish I just had a freaking recorder I could have stuck in there, just catch these stories, or at least have the opportunity. Dodger died 46 years ago yesterday. Wow.
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 We'll talk about timing, huh?
You know the crazy thing though, just hit my mind now. We know who they are, but
Yeah.
they don't know who we are.
We know everything about him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know
What
that
the hell are you people?
we know them just as well, almost as family, but they wouldn't know us from a bar of soap if they had to walk past us on the street.
Could you imagine Elvis talking to Dodger about how he missed his mom, and how I really don't want to go to this movie, and do this movie and this stuff, and I could just imagine.
Yeah,
He went to Germany with them. Jeez.
Could you just imagine, man?
That thought just came to my mind about that. The story she could tell. She could tell. I mean, I don't think she obviously wasn't there in the house when he was born, but I'm sure she was one of the very first people to hold him.
I interviewed somebody that was there when he was born.
well,
It's amongst
well,
the box. Oh,
Janelle McComb was there when he was born. She was one of the ladies that helped his mama.
Yeah.
She was one of the ladies that came with clothes and blankets and all those things. So it must have been kind of special for her too, to have literally been there since day one.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I'm seeing, we had this problem today inside the studio. If you're in the chat, make sure that you're on the pull down window up there. It says top chats or it says live chats. Make sure you're on live chats. That's what keeps you from seeing certain comments. Top chats, I don't know who says is the top chat, but somehow YouTube says, oh, I like that one. I don't like that one. I don't fucking figure it out. Put it on live chat, and that problem should go away. Just to let you know. I don't even know why they even have a top chat. Well, I guess there's some anal person out there that wants to. Okay, bye. Let's go.
He's about the size of
Oh
Red
my!
Buttons, the
Insert
actor.
open
Small,
mouth
little dapper
insert
guy,
clip.
dressed sharp, and at that age, even still doing it. So,
Oh,
but I would
that's
sit
a
and
good
talk with her
question.
about a lot of things, and I heard things about life down in the South when she was younger, and it was just fascinating to me. So I really, really enjoyed
It's
her.
like he's
Did
listening
you see
to
a
you.
lot of Elvis's family
Yeah.
coming around in that through the years, or?
Well, in the after he had made it big, or after?
Yeah, I mean, even in a lot of books, you don't hear of a lot of, like, the Smiths coming around and the Pritchetts and stuff like that. Did they come around, or were they invited to parties, or are they just not like a part of history, it seems?
They weren't invited to parties. He had the Smiths that he was really close to was, of course, Billy
Mm-hmm.
and Jean, and he had a cousin named. Of course, he was close to Patsy, but she wasn't a Smith. She was a Smith and a Presley, because
Right.
her mom was a Smith, a sister to Gladys, and her dad was a brother to Vernon. So he was a double first cousin.
Jeez.
But yeah, he was close with Jean and Billy. He liked Junior, but Junior had problems because he was in Korea and
Yeah.
he was an alcoholic, and he had some bad experiences over there that he never got over.
Uh-huh.
And he traveled a lot with.
Oh, no. Did I lose you?
Oh,
It's one of those times.
God, I was having such a good time listening to it.
What happened?
You just was gone.
I knew that question was going to pop up. Was Donna around?
Yeah, I thought that's what the either it was going to Edie Hand that he really liked would come about, or it was going to be Donna. And I was just waiting. I said, "Which one is it? Which one is it?" And pop, it's gone.
Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
that's funny. I don't know if Dodger ever saw Elvis in Vegas. I would probably say no.
You know, there was a question I wanted to ask early in the interview, and we got ahead of ourselves here. Do you really think that Elvis sounded like he was black?
I've never thought that, but
Yeah,
then I knew the time I first heard those songs at the beginning. I'd already been a fan and knew who he was. So
Well, the music sounded black.
the music had that black feel, and I can understand how they did that. I don't think it was so much his voice, but it was just the style of the music. I mean, that's got to be a black person. No white man would ever sing that. No, my God, ever.
What do you think, Cam?
Yeah, I think if I have to remove myself knowing what I know now, if I had to uh, use just my basic auditory knowledge, I think very much so. Because if you listen to guys like Rufus Thomas and some of the older guys
Oh, yeah.
around the early 50s and the late 40s, there's definitely similarities there. You can definitely hear he's influenced by the real Deep South blues music that he was listening to. So I would say, yeah, I could very easily say that he could have been mistaken in the early days for being a black artist. Very much so.
All right, there's a question out there, or there guys are talking about Uncle Jesse? Yeah, Uncle Jesse, or grandfather.
Grandpa.
It was grandpa. Yeah. He had a song, Who's Kicking, what was it? How's it go? It's Who's That Kicking My Dog Around the Place? Here you go.
I am swinging in the orchard in the old apple tree. I am swinging in the orchard in the old apple
He's better than most impersonators.
I know. Damn. He could win it all, couldn't he? And so who's that kicking my dog around?
Well, then that's quite cool because then Elvis got his singing from both sides of the family. Cause
Yeah.
his mama had a good singing voice too.
Well, you've heard the song that Vernon sings, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've got that too. That's a good one. He wrote it and sang it for
Some,
D. He sang it for D.
somebody asked, was Donna around at this time? She must have, but she must have been young.
Well, she was around which time? The 70s when.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. When would this have been?
Well, she was born in 1950.
Hmm.
She's, I hate to say it because she's 8 years older than me. So that makes her 42. No, that makes her 76. That makes her 76. So in 1972 I was 14, so she would have been 22.
Oh, yeah, she would have. Yeah,
She already had kids around this time.
yeah, yeah.
So she was around, but it wasn't Graceland.
I met her kids. Very nice.
You were just gone. All of a sudden, you were
talking, and then when I finished, you didn't say anything. I said, "Go."
The last thing I heard was you said that the one Smith was in Korea. That's the last thing I heard, and then it was gone.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened. Are you on a? Is this a landline that you're on?
Yeah, I'm on a landline.
Huh?
I'm on a landline. Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. So I don't know what happened.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was Junior. He was in Korea, and he had some problems over there that happened with him. So he started drinking a lot.
Oh.
Became an alcoholic, and he passed away.
Like a lot of other men.
Exactly. And then, well, in the Vietnam thing, did the same thing to people. In Korea, the same thing. You had the Chinese. You had different people fighting. You didn't know who was who.
Yeah.
You didn't know the North Korean army, but other than that, there was a lot of other guerrillas. But
not a lot of family came around then, or
well, no, there were just a couple of them came around Christmas time.
yeah.
You know,
Of course.
but there was one cousin that he really liked, Bobby Joe, and of course he loved Patsy.
Mm-hmm.
Patsy was a double first cousin.
Who was Lois Smith?
Lois
Yeah.
was the mother of. I don't know if Lois was she the mother or.
She married a Smith. I know there's a book out, and there's a, I know it's just another way to try to get money off of Elvis is what this book is. And the author called me and wanted me to push this book because I do book segments on EER radio. And it was a small little book, nice little book, but it's just another way of trying to get money out of Elvis is all this book was. I mean, this is basically what, she knew Elvis was family, but
nothing else to say.
Really nothing else to say. She says she was there when Gladys had died. She was there in the room when Gladys passed away.
No.
I think Lois, if I'm not.
Who said that?
No, I think I got that wrong. She said she was there when Gladys had the baby. Because I don't remember her saying, because that wouldn't work. How would that work? She couldn't have been there where Gladys died. This woman said that she was there when Elvis was born because they were having troubles.
Oh, you're talking about Janelle McComb?
No, I'll have to pull it out because I didn't believe it at all, but I did interview her. But like I said, that might be in that box that's in the garbage here somewhere.
Oh,
I still haven't come into it yet again, but I do have the book, so I'm sure I'll let you know what the book is, and it's only a little thing like that.
yeah.
And we could go through that one day quick and say bullshit, bullshit, more bullshit.
Yeah. I'll come up with a little button to say bullshit. Bullshit. Why'd they write the book? Oh yeah.
There you go.
That's anytime we talk about certain people, that's the ringer.
She wanted me to buy the book. It's only a little thing like that. So the son talked me into buying the book. Well, she really needs the money and everything. All right, send me the fucking book. It was like $15 for a little book like that.
Oh, gee.
I had to talk her into signing the damn thing.
Oh my God! I told you.
Oh hell, there we go.
We don't need to talk about her. Uh-oh.
No, no, no. Kathleen's last remark. She took what you just said. All
What?
right.
What she said? Oh, no,
You,
don't pull it out, Joe.
you said I'll have to pull it out. We
Oh,
talked about the tapes. She goes, "Oh no, Joe, don't pull it out."
no, we ain't got enough room here. Ah,
Yeah, here we go.
we need more room.
Taking Lois Mail again.
I don't know.
We
I don't
digress.
remember. It was
Terrible.
The Billy Smith's
mhm.
mother, and she married Travis Smith.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that was Lois.
Oh.
And that Lillian was the man's mother. She married a man, but she was
I would
one of
hope so.
Gladys's sisters also. And then there was another.
Oh, don't tell me.
We apologize for the
Do
break
you want
in
to do it another
transmission.
day? Maybe there's something going on with the phone lines.
I don't know. No, we can continue here and just see. You know.
I just feel sorry for you. I mean,
Oh no, I'm okay. Just tell me where I left off.
oh, well, I was just kind of trying
What
to
a
get around.
nice
Did you
guy.
see a lot of family members
Yeah.
trying to come in to get something off of Elvis, to ask for money and stuff like that? Was that done a lot through
You
the
know,
years? Or?
I'll
It
tell you
wasn't on
real
a whole-
quick before we go further with this part. You say what a nice guy, and I agree. You
Yeah.
know, I think, I think he really did regret
Yeah.
writing that book. Um, am I pissed out that still pissed that he did it? Yeah, of course I am.
Sure.
But you know what? That one we saw one video of him talking to a crowd. He told the great story, like when his mother died at the same time Elvis's mother died, or something like that. And
Yeah, it
they were in
was.
the same home at the same funeral parlor, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just the stories he told were so good. So I honestly think he has some contrition. There's no doubt in my mind, because you could just hear it when he talked about Elvis. You know,
After
I
you, sorry, go ahead, Cam.
sorry, Joe. I seriously believe that his intention behind writing the book wasn't bad. I think it was just
Steve Dunleavy.
I just think that the method that he originally resorted to,
Yeah,
he later regretted. But if you think about it, my opinion is maybe he thought that that would be the only avenue open for him enough for Elvis to actually take note
yeah,
of what they were saying, because it was in print media. Maybe it would hit him enough to say, okay, I now have to really do something here, because the other avenues that they might have tried before, talking to him privately and getting other people to talk to him, didn't work. He kind of blew them off. So they kind of maybe thought, okay, well, if it ends up in print media in some way or another, maybe he'll be forced to do something about it. And then they just happen to go to the wrong guy to deliver the message. But
yeah, yeah.
I honestly don't believe that there was a genuine intent of malice
Y-
from them.
Well, with all the interviews that I've done, with the Memphis Mafia and stuff, um, people are going to hate me for it, but I think a portion of what people don't think actually happened did happen.
Yes.
I really think it did. I think some people made it worse than what it was, but I do. I mean, I believe, who was it? Marty Lacker. I believe a lot of his stuff. I believe a lot of what Sonny said. Maybe not the story about him coming up and playing a bunch of songs in front of 15 people. That just doesn't sound like something that was, but I
That time especially.
but you're going to have rose-colored glasses people. They don't want to hear anything. I mean, there's still who say he didn't smoke cigarettes yet. There's pictures out there and
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Yeah.
I do
Well,
believe some of the stories.
I think you had a bad mix there with Steve Dunleavy, and if they had an actual reputable, good author to write
Yes.
the book for them,
Yes.
and then if Sonny, Red, and Dave had demanded that we get the final say on the edit, if there's something in that book that we don't want in there, then you have to take it out, or the deal's off. Yeah,
Yes, because if you
that
think,
didn't happen because they had Steve, who I don't know what you think about Steve, but he was a National Enquirer type of
Yeah.
writer. He was a trash writer, and he wanted to hear what stories they had so that he could expand upon them or go from that point. And that's what he did. And he suckered them into a contract. So whatever he wrote was,
yes, I think I tend to agree with you on that one. Maybe the intention was, let's go to a writer, tell him the story, knowing the pull that Elvis had in Memphis, knowing maybe subconsciously that okay, we somehow gonna through the back lines, we gonna get hold of the manuscript before this thing goes to print, and he'll get hold of the manuscript, and then he'll go, oh my God, somebody's told something about something. There's a possibility that this is going to get out. I need to throw a spanner in the works here. But like you said, unfortunately, they chose the wrong guy. Steve Dunleavy sidewinded them and took the manuscript to the printer
and they were
before they even,
and they
yeah.
were hungry. They were hungry.
There
Yeah.
had to be something in the contract where they were allowed to do that without following up with the writers, uh, because that's usually in the contract that you got to come to me first
Yeah.
or you can change it. So either he did it illegally or the guys didn't know what they were doing. It was dumb.
Yeah.
Or
Well, you think about it. All three of them weren't really the rocket scientists.
because they say it was Dunleavy that did it because he wanted the book to sell.
Yeah.
I don't think they even needed to lie like that or say some of the stories that they did because with Elvis's name on it, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, Rick and I have often spoken about this specific point too. We've often said, I would love to get hold of those original audio tapes that they actually used in the creation of the book, to actually hear what was said by who,
Mhm.
and actually compare the finished product with what originally was said, because somewhere between the two ends there's a fuck up in the middle.
They've got to be out there because they do tape it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless Dunleavy is buried, they're buried with Dunleavy.
Was it?
I said if they were buried with Steve Dunleavy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right,
Or
we ready to. Oh, the black is that what's that? The Black Phoenix? Yeah.
yeah.
Lot, but it was done several times, and usually it was by the same people.
Was Elvis giving?
He was giving to them, but he liked to give when they didn't ask.
Okay.
Like, for instance, one time, Harold, who I liked a lot.
Harold Lloyd.
Liked a lot, yeah, because he used to give Elvis candy and everything when he was a kid. And so he was working as a gate guard down there, and he had a truck repossessed. His pickup was repossessed. He got behind 2 or 3 months payment or whatever. So he came up there, and Elvis saw him and told me to talk to him, find out what he wanted. Because Harold didn't come around and just sit out there in the den,
Mm-hmm.
So I went out and talked to him and everything. He always called me. I was in my room. I didn't even know he was there. And he said, Sonny, Harold's downstairs. Won't you find out what he wants? So I went down there, and I just kind of walked out there, and I said, hey, Harold. He said, hey, Sonny. I said, are you here for a reason or something, or you just, hanging by? So he said, well, I wanted to see Elvis. And I said, well, you want me to take a message or anything, or talk to him or something? He said, well, he said, what's happened, Sonny? And Harold liked me. So, I mean, it was a mutual thing there. And he said, my truck was repossessed. I got behind a couple of payments or 3, I can't remember. And he said, I just want to know if I could get enough to make those up so I could get my truck back, and I was going to take so much out of each weekly paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, okay. I said, yeah. I said, well, let me see if he's up and everything, and if so, then I'll go ahead and ask him, and I'll get back at you. And so I went up and saw Elvis and told him, and he said, man, he's a poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Sonny, you and I are going to go get him a new one.
boy.
So I went down. I told Harold. I said, Harold. I said, why don't you just hang around here a little bit? Elvis was getting up soon. So he and I went out the front door. Harold never even knew we left. And we went. Elvis bought him a new pickup truck.
Wow.
But that, not a camper, but that shell thing that goes over a truck, like Harold had on his old one. So he bought it with the shell and everything, and he drove it back, and I drove the car back, and we pulled it up in the back there, and we came in the back door by the den there from underneath the carport area, and we walked in, and Harold looked surprised to see Elvis come in from outside. Thought he was upstairs. And Harold said, hey, Harold, he said, what you doing, man? He said, oh, I think I'm doing okay. And he said, I was talking with Sonny. He said, yeah, Sonny told me about it and everything. He said, anyway, let's go outside and talk about it. Went outside, and Harold was, talking to him as they walked out. And I was trailing behind, so I didn't really see his face at first, but Elvis said, is that your truck there? And Harold said, no, that's not Elvis. He said, yes, it is, Harold.
Wow.
New truck. Harold started crying.
Oh, jeez.
Don't worry about that old truck, Harold. It was 2 or 3 years old, so it wasn't even old to Elvis. It was,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the way he was. And
he really was giving.
Yeah. He got all that generous nature from his mom.
Mm-hmm. He,
giving person. He never knew when he came home whether there were going to be a lot of women in the breakfast area visiting with his mom, waiting to meet him. She'd invite him from the market.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why don't you come on home with me, and when he gets up, I'll introduce you to him.
Oh, my gosh.
He'd walk down, be 3 or 4 women sitting around there, and she'd say, hi, son. He'd walk over here. He'd say, I want you to meet these people. I was up there at the market, and I was talking to them. I told him, make it meet you and everything. So he would introduce, he'd say, nice to meet you, this, that, and everything, and then he'd say, well, I'm going upstairs and get ready and everything to get up. So nice to meet you, ladies. And he'd go back upstairs, and a little bit later they'd leave.
Is there a memory, is there one special memory that sticks in your mind about Elvis?
Oh, God.
So many.
That's a hard,
There's several of
that's
them.
got to be a hard
question.
You spend as many years. Wow. I tell you what came to my mind immediately, though.
Mm-hmm.
The woman that needed the wheelchair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that always sticks because Elvis did not want anybody to know that he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in a way, I can kind of understand where he's coming from, because in a way, I try to be that for people. It's like somebody might be going through something seriously bad or something seriously difficult. And sometimes to you, what might seem small and insignificant is literally a life-changing event. I mean, for example, the closest one I can think of for me lately was when my dad bought my scooter.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it because he realized the importance of it and he was able to do it. And for him, it was like he just wanted to do it. It was something he did. But for me, it literally drove me to tears because in that moment, a seemingly small gesture was not a small gesture. It was a life-changing moment for me. And when you're able to do those kind of things for people, it brings indescribable joy. So I can understand why Elvis would do those kind of things for people.
Yeah.
And it makes sense when he used to say things like, I see that other people see their wants, I see their needs.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And when you can be in a position like that for somebody else, and it doesn't necessarily mean always a materialistic sense. It can be an emotional sense too.
Yeah.
But to be able to be in that position for someone else, I find it's extremely rewarding.
Yeah.
I was just a little surprised that, and I wondered why he did it. Why would Elvis not go out and talk to him right off the bat?
Yeah.
Did Elvis know right away that he couldn't say no to anybody? So here's his chance to,
Maybe.
in order to get away from him, maybe he's, to get him talking to be there for 2 hours, or I just never understood that.
That's good. That's a good point. Wow.
Maybe.
Just when he gave that lady that wheelchair, that black lady that had no legs,
Oh, jeez.
the story in the paper that Marty read, and
Mm-hmm.
brought it and told Elvis, you might want to look at this, because all of us knew.
Man.
I swear his energy is still around. He's talking, you talking and he's answering you. Maybe you should just shut. Maybe you should just shut up and listen to the tape.
I know he did that earlier on something, didn't he?
We did what? What?
No, earlier. What were we talking about
We talked
earlier?
about something. I made a comment and I kicked it, turned it on. He said the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Elvis. We knew what he was like
Mm-hmm.
in that area for the needy. See, he gave Joe different reasons. He gave to us. He loved us, and he gave to us just to show how much he appreciated us and that he loved us and everything,
Mm-hmm.
even though we weren't needy. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'd have a car only a couple years old, he'd give me a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was just the way he was. But he also gave to the needy, to the people that needed, like that lady.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for a different giving.
And a lot of people don't know that, Sonny.
Yeah, well, it's in my book, that new book coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about that very much so, about how he had a couple of three ways of giving. Sometimes just to shock someone because he loved them, and others because they needed it. And it's like 3 ways of giving, and he was unlimited in each one. It made no difference when it hit him to do something. He was guided a lot by impulse and.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the things we don't know about?
Sonny, what was you? What was? I'm sorry.
I didn't want it. I don't need it. No, I'm not taking it, because he just gave me a motorcycle a few months earlier. This was out in California
Uh-huh.
in '65, and we'd gone to find him a baby blue convertible. He wanted it. We were coming back from looking at the bus that was George Barris was customizing.
Right.
Marty and Billy, and we were riding back home and going up through Bel Air. He said, "Man, what a beautiful night! This is a baby blue Cadillac convertible night." You know, we said, "Yeah." And he said, "Let's go over to that Cadillac place." And I turned around, so I turned around and we went. And I was talking to him on the west. I said, "Oh, is you sure baby blue?" Because he always talked about how you kind of get tired of colors after a while. But he said, "Black and white, you know, you just don't get tired of those colors." And so I was talking to him about it. He said, "Yeah," but he said, "Yeah, most of the time that's right. But that baby blue tonight just seems right." So we went there to this place. They didn't have one in stock. Said they would try to locate one. Elvis had left Marty there with him, and Billy and Elvis, myself, left. We went out across the street, looked at the used car lot that they had there for their used cars. I thought he was looking for a baby blue one there that was maybe a year or two old in case, you know. They couldn't get him one. And he said, "No, I don't see anything here." So he asked me where that other Cadillac place was. And I said, it's down Wilshire, down near La Brea. So he said, "Let's go there." He said, Billy, step in there and tell Marty that we'll be back in a few minutes. Trying to find that blue one. So we went down there, and you know, today with the computer thing, Joe, when you think about it, they would find one real fast where one was.
Yeah.
Very quickly, they could get online and say, "Here, we've got one here. I'll contact them. They're going to serve it, bring it over, or whatever." So we went ahead and went down to the other one, and we were in that big limousine, Rolls-Royce limousine that Elvis had. And I'm driving, and him and Billy are sitting in the back, and we get down there, and I let them out up at the front, and I backed the Rolls-Royce back across the lot and park it out of the way. And by the time I lock the car and walk over to where the showroom is where I let them off, Elvis, the salesman, and Billy are coming outside the door. And so Elvis said, "Sonny," he said, is that what you're talking about? You know, and he points right there next to the, if I remember correctly, it was the car right next to the door outside there. It was a 1963 black Eldorado convertible with black leather interior. And he said, is that what you're talking about? I said, "Yeah." Now look at that, Elvis. Look at that.
Swag. Wow.
"Yeah, you're right. It's a good-looking car." He said, "Here, it's yours."
Wow.
And I stepped away. I said, "No." He tried to hand me the key, and I said, No, Elvis, it's not." And I said, "No, it's not, man." I turned around and walked, and I went back over to the Rolls-Royce and got in the driver's seat. And he came over there and got in the front seat. "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "Elvis, look, I don't want you to do that. I said, uh, you just give me a motorcycle. It's like you're always giving and we're always taking. And I said, I don't want to do that. And he said, look, son, he said, you guys are giving when you don't know you're giving. He said, I put a lot on you. You handle it. And so this is just kind of a way for me to say thank you. I said, well, that's all you got to do is say thank you.
Right.
He said, no. He said, now let me tell you something, Sonny. I know that you did not. I mean, that you sat on the curb just like I did and watched Cadillac convertibles go by when they did, and you just said, one day I'm going to have one of those. And I said, well, yeah, every kid does that.
Sure.
He said, I know.
I do too.
I know it. I said, every kid does that. So he said, so here's yours. Take these keys and let's go get mine. Because I did the same thing, Sonny. And that was it.
Yeah.
I got out, went over, put that top down, got in, I could not believe it. I couldn't. I said, God, what a car. Now, I had a brand new car, a 59 convertible, Ford Fairlane.
Did you want me to pause?
Yeah, was that the pause thing? I thought so, Cam.
Oh,
That was Cam, you shook your head a little bit there, so I wasn't sure what you were thinking.
Yeah, it's amazing hearing him talk the way he talks, because I can identify with a lot of what he's saying. From a personal perspective too, I mean, Rick knows, everybody that's watching and listening knows. I mean, there's been things that have happened to me in the last 18 months that I never, ever thought would happen. And in the moment when it happens, when somebody out there extends a hand in a way like that, it literally it's like the air gets sucked right out of you. You are so humbled by the gesture that you literally don't have words of appreciation. And it's something else when you know that you're able to have that ability for somebody else, whether it be somebody in a material situation or in an emotional situation. If you can give back to somebody else in that kind of sense, that's almost like I call them earthquake moments. If you able to do that for somebody else and realize that you've eliminated something out of their way that they absolutely 100% believed was going to be a mountain in the road. If you can do that for somebody else, there's nothing on the face of the earth that equals that feeling. So I can understand him saying, like, I expect a lot from you guys, and that's just my way of saying thank you. But at the same time, I hear what Sonny is also saying in terms of he didn't always want to receive because he didn't want to feel within himself that he was just receiving all the time, and it might be misunderstood or misconstrued that he's only using Elvis. So in that dynamic too, it's important when a person can have that kind of relationship with somebody else and say, you know what, I appreciate the gesture, but at the same time, I just want you to know that it's not an unexpected thing. And once you can have that kind of understanding with somebody else, then you got it made. So I can understand 100% why he loved the way he loved, because it's immensely gratifying to be able to do something from someone from an emotional perspective or materialistic perspective, and know that when you put your head down today on your pillow, you before you close your eyes, you say, I was able to do X, Y, and Z for that person, and it meant the world to them. It really made their day better, or it made things easier for them. There's nothing more gratifying to me than being able to do that.
Well, see, I believe the story, and I'm only saying that because when I first aired this, there were people who said, it's bullshit and stuff like that. But I believe it. And the problem is that book completely screwed up what they say is their actual history. And I believe that story.
Yeah.
I really do. See, I don't know if you believe it or not, but I would say no to it. And probably turn around after a while, but I would
Yeah,
say
that
no
that
to
would
it.
be my first reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I would say no to it, and especially if I was looking on the outside and seeing what people said the majority of what these guys were doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
But when you listen to some of these interviews, you think, oh, maybe they weren't as bad as you think they were, But then you read books, Sometimes I think books are the worst thing that you could do. You come up with these stories that you don't know what's real, what's not real, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard stories from people say, "Well, this is what happened." No, but you read that in David Stanley's sixth book.
Yeah.
What is coming out with his 12th now?
Yeah.
You
And,
know?
and that's what's making it hard now in the Elvis world, because those people that were really there, one by one, they coming to the end of the line. And whenever you read a book or you hear an interview with somebody, and the moment you repeat what you've heard or read, there's always a great amount of personal perception
Mhm.
that's going to go into that story.
Mm.
With, whenever you read or hear something, it's never ever once again the exact carbon copy of what you've heard or read from person X. Because the moment it goes into your brain and it gets processed, already in the processing phase, perception, your own perception and understanding is being added to that mix.
Yeah.
So unless you can go to the real source and hear it direct, okay, Joe and I are having a conversation about X, or Rick and Joe are talking about X, and that's what really happened. The moment I come into the equation and Joe or Rick is not there,
Yeah.
it becomes sketchy, because I've used my own perception to fill in the blanks. And that's
Perception is not always reality.
And
no.
Yeah. Oh,
Elvis newbies will read a book like that and think it's true.
yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah. Yeah.
I
They'll
had, no,
swear by it.
I had no idea that the name of the book was Surviving Elvis. That prick.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe that?
What
Yeah.
the hell?
Piece of trash. All right. Let's get back to it. We got 15 minutes left of the interview. Good old Sonny.
Funny.
500, Galaxy 500, beautiful white Ford convertible with Mercury skirts and the Oldsmobile Fiesta tires
Those
that
are
I
tough
had.
looking
I
cars.
bought while I was working before I went to work for Elvis. And when I went to work for Elvis, my brother was just getting out of the Army, and I let him take over the payments and turned it over to him and asked him for anything, up front. He said, well, what are you going to drive? I said, whatever Elvis got, man. I'm going to drive his cars.
What a lucky man you are, Sonny.
Packers, whatever.
I look at that black Stutz, and to slide in on that seat. Oh, baby.
It was fine, but I tell you another car I liked that he had was that Mark II.
Yeah.
Not the Mark II, the Mark III. The Mark II was the 56 model, the 70 model.
Did it have balls?
Elvis, that's the way it is.
Right.
Him and
Yes.
Joe pulled into the studio.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that
That's
one
the Mark
too.
III.
Did it have balls?
It was so smooth and everything that you'd be doing 85, 90 miles an hour when we'd go to
Never
Palm
know it.
Springs. You didn't even know it.
So it had a lot of power. Did the Stutz have a lot of power?
Huh?
Did the Stutz have a lot of power?
It did. It had a Pontiac engine in it, but it was very heavy.
Uh-huh.
It was very heavy. I think that body was made over in Italy, and they put it on a Pontiac drive frame.
Mhm.
The engine, the rear end, frame, everything else was Pontiac.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't have a lot of takeoff power.
But
Because,
it looked fine.
well, it was a classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Do you remember the Pantera?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I was in at that time when Elvis shot it.
You
Yeah.
shot his car?
Yeah, we went out to go for a ride, and the battery, it hadn't been run for a while, so the battery was dead. It wouldn't turn over. And he said, son of a gun. He said something else. Anyway, I said, Elvis, it's just the battery's down. You hadn't been right. I'll go get Mike and Earl, and we'll get a charger on it. He said, no, get out. Let's get out. So as he gets out, he's pulling his gun. I
Oh, my
God. And I jumped and got out of the way, and sure enough, he fired. The window was down, and he just went ahead and fired right into the dashboard and said, now you are dead. And when it sold, I think it still had that bullet hole in it.
It does.
Yeah,
Did he
it's
do
so
that a
bad.
lot? What?
Somewhere, huh?
Did he like just?
Yeah, doesn't Angie show it on that car one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't
And
there's a bullet
and
in the door and there's a bullet in the driving on
in
the
the steering wheel,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And Linda spoke about it too previously. She said she's corroborated that it was her and Sonny that were in the car.
That should be a Graceland.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this guy? You're going out for a ride in this car and no, okay, let's get out. The next minute he just pops off a shot. Poof, okay, now you're dead, you son of a bitch.
That's funny.
He liked messing with you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was one of the things. He had a funny and weird sense of humor. You never knew
Very
what
dark.
was going to come out of his mouth. He was very quick-witted. That's why he liked Johnny Carson so much.
Right.
Because Johnny was so quick. But Elvis was very quick-witted. And
Did it ever get him into trouble?
the quick wit,
No, well, shooting something. I mean, did the cops ever come and say, "Hey, Elvis, you got to stop this"? Or
no.
he never got in trouble? Well, Elvis, I guess, could do basically anything, couldn't he?
Right. When he burned down, him and Red took those two bulldozers and bulldozed that home on the back of Grayson property there. And then Elvis set it on fire. Neighbors saw all that, and they called the fire department. Fire department came over, and they came back there. Of course, this was back there near the back fence, so that's where they came to, because they could tell by the smoke that they thought a house was on fire or something.
Uh-huh.
And so they came and with their hook and ladder and looked up over the fence and said, and at the time, we were still in the county out there. The city had not annexed it yet. So they said something about, what are you doing? I was burning the house down that we bulldozed it, and then I just set it on fire there. And he said, "Did you get a permit for it?" And I said, "No, I didn't think about that." And he said, "Well, we need to watch it." He said, "In case," he said, "Oh, so y'all can stay there and watch it." He could, a cop one time gave him a ticket, a new cop gave Elvis a ticket for dressing improperly, because him and Billy went out riding on their two three-wheelers there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This was in 76 or 77, after we were gone. Red and I were gone, and this cop pulled him over and gave him a ticket. And boy, howdy. Elvis didn't do anything, but his dad called. And that cop, the ticket was, of course, taken up, and the cop was reassigned to another area. And
Oh shit!
Well,
the thing that, you don't do that.
Sonny, what was his effects with the cops? What was that with him? With badges and stuff.
He believed in law enforcement very much, but he didn't like bad cops. He didn't like bad cops. But the ones that were out there doing their job consistently, and the ones that we met that were friendly and everything, I was just enjoying them. And you got to remember, they didn't have T-shirt security when we first started touring out there. They, and even then, wasn't long they changed it from security, the word on it, to staff, because the word security represents something that you could be sued for. The promoter, the act that was there performing, everyone could be sued because security, if someone got hurt and security didn't take care of them, there's a connotation there that you better. So that's why they have changed it to event staff. What those guys use, but we used policemen in the buildings, hired them off duty, but in uniform. And if they didn't, like New York, you couldn't hire, the cops couldn't work off duty. So of course the Madison Square Garden had, I think it was Wackenhut, that they had a deal with that took care of the event. They were the security for the Madison Square Garden, and I think they still are today. I believe it was Wackenhut. We had a lot of cops there on the side of the stage watching the show. Some of them from horseback that were there, had their horses outside.
Wow.
Some of them from their patrol cars. Some of the beat cops. There was probably about 30 of them outside there watching some of that show before they left.
I would have loved to see the Madison show. I would have loved to see the Madison Garden show.
Oh, boy, that one. There was one of them. I forget which one it was, the second or third one. There was just,
What was it?
I think it was the second show that he did. He just, he was, he didn't know how well he was going to go in New York.
Really?
Said that. Oh, yeah, he even said that to Jerry Weintraub of Management 3. And Jerry said, "Oh, believe me, Elvis, they're going to love you in New York." And of course, and Jerry was from Philly, I think, originally. So he was right.
Yeah, and look how fast the shows.
Oh,
The shows sold out so quickly.
I know it. And he was, like I said, Elvis. The first show was probably a little bit nervous, but when they showed him the love, I think it was the second show where he really kicked butt.
Yeah.
We didn't go back because of the expense of the building. Madison Square Garden was very expensive.
Uh-huh.
And Elvis, even at that time, was not charging that much money. That what some of the other acts, like today, I don't know what the tickets are today for the acts.
$150 to see Elton John.
Yeah, what I would say
Nothing.
is probably Elvis
Mark.
would be somewhere around $50 or $60. Colonel just didn't run over people like that. He knew when he didn't have any money.
Right.
And so he also didn't release things about how much Elvis was making to people. He said, because you don't want to create any situation out there
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
where people say, well, my gosh, he's making so much money. He didn't advertise how
Well, you
well
know
they
this-
were doing.
Right.
But you know, people, Elvis fans, they would have paid double, triple those prices. Those tickets were only $10, $11, $12 back then.
Yeah.
Can I bring something up before I forget it?
Yeah.
Fire, when he did the fire, can you imagine these firemen putting a hook and ladder over top of a fence? See what was going on? Can you imagine? Elvis, can you imagine? That would have been funny as hell.
I bet you the cops had. That's what was cool about Elvis staying and living in Memphis, because he was them.
Yeah.
I mean,
He wasn't like a rock star that moves into a new area. It's like here in Atlanta. Elton John bought a house here. He's not an Atlanta. He's not a native. But Elvis grew up there. He and everybody knew him. So it was just like buddies. To me, I think that's why he never left, because it was home.
He's a homeboy.
I mean, to add to what Joe was saying, can you imagine you the chief of police, and you the beat cop that's now going back to the station. You get called in the office, and the guy says, "Hey, what's going on out there?" He's like, "Oh no, it's just Elvis burning the house down."
Yeah. But I don't think it was right what he did to the cop. I mean, the cop was doing his
No.
job. That was
Yeah.
not right.
Yeah. No. Now, did Elvis do that, or did the?
No.
I was wondering that too. Was that Vernon?
I would
No.
say it was probably the chief of police.
What I can surmise from it is the chief of police.
Yeah, I think because Elvis was good friends with him, and that was Elvis was he was friends with all the cops. I mean, he gave so much money to him every year, and he would even go into the jailhouses on Christmas and without anybody ever knowing, and handing money to the policemen.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the cop still wasn't right.
No, what was
No.
done wasn't right. I absolutely agree. I mean, come on, he's a young cop. He was doing his job.
Yeah.
Elvis or not, he was doing his job. But I tell you what, if I pulled Elvis over like I wouldn't give him to him. I'd say, "Can you sign this for me?" Say,
So, and I mean, it's true. It's like you say. He used to go into the jailhouses on Christmas and talk to the inmates and give them money and help them out. So, what guy? You don't even hear of artists today that do those kind of things.
No.
yeah. All right, here we go.
Promote that like other people saying, top grossing, like for instance, the Pontiac Silverdome show. They want to know how much he grossed on that.
Wow.
I don't have those figures in my head.
And another great show.
Exactly.
Did you get along? I always felt that Colonel Parker got a bad rap.
He did, Joe. And in my book, I explain that. I straighten a lot of that out. I said even some guys in the group that, like Jerry Schilling, wasn't working for Elvis at the time that this Barbara Streisand and John Peters presented. So he heard Elvis after him and Joe were in there because Jerry was doing editing or whatever, was working somewhere trying to do some editing, and he broke in on that Elvis on tour. And he was in there when they were talking, and Elvis told Barbara, yeah, he'd like to do it. After they spent a couple, 3 hours there, I'm not sure how long, explaining to him changes they wanted to make because they had purchased the rights to remake it, and so Elvis was impressed and everything with it, and said, yeah, he wanted to do it. So, guess what Jerry heard?
What?
He came out, and Elvis told us when we asked him, he said, you know what they want, guys, and he explained to us them getting the rights, and Red was the first one and said, you going to do it? And I was, yeah, I'm going to do it. And Red said, you swear? He said, yeah. He said, shake hands on it. So he shook hands, and I said, me too. And he shook hands with me and a couple of other guys. And then 2 or 3 days later, Joe, it started.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear comments, and when I heard him make the comment, like, for instance, about Barbara wanting to run everything and do everything her way, he got to thinking about how they might not get along very well. He said that hairdresser boyfriend of hers may want to direct it, not have to slap the S-H-I-T out of him a couple of times maybe, and stuff like that. And I thought, uh-oh, he's not going to do it. Red and I looked at each other, and we both knew. Well, Jerry didn't know any of this. Elvis told the Colonel to get him out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He told the Colonel he'd change his mind. And says that's why Colonel asked for what he did.
Right.
The crowning thing being, Joe, that there's no way Barbara was going to give Elvis first billing.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And no way she was going to give him 50% of the profits. And I don't know at that time if she would have even given the $1 million salary, but I think the $1 million would have been okay.
Mm-hmm.
The 50% was asking a little bit too much, and then the top billing was something that you knew.
Mm-hmm.
And so she made the statement that she had said that he was going to do it after she got back, and a few days later when Colonel put those figures to her, she couldn't do it.
Right.
She said that Elvis didn't want to, I don't know what the figure was. Hold on just a minute, Joe.
All right.
I'll be right back, okay?
Yep.
I was amazed to hear you. The first time I said Joe and you didn't answer, I said, oh, man, he's gone.
Hey, so you agree, too, that the Colonel really got a bad rap?
Oh, he really did. That, you know, and this is backed up what I just told you about the picture. It also, it came to Colonel back in the 60s. For him, some people wanted him and Elvis and Judy Garland to do a children's album together. And
I heard
offered
that.
$25,000 each, and they had got to Judy, and she had said yes, that she would. And then they came to Colonel, and Colonel said, I don't know, let me talk with Elvis, and we'll see. And so he asked Elvis if he wanted to do it, and Elvis said, no, I don't, Colonel. He said, okay. And that was it. And he just put the price. But he had $100,000 instead of 25, and they said they didn't have that kind of money, and that Judy was going to do it for 25. And the Colonel said, well, I know, but Elvis's time is so booked, and it's very valuable time for them to take out the time to do this. So they left. They came back a week later and told him that they had the money.
Jesus.
But Elvis, you think Elvis was quick? Colonel was quicker by half a beat. He says, oh, you said you couldn't? I've already booked that time. He's not available now, I would say, for 3.5 or 4 years before he has any time off.
Wow.
To schedule this session, you know. That was
He was good. He was really
very good. So
yeah.
he was very maligned, and people thought that he was working Elvis to death. He was working him quickly like that, those shorter tours, because he didn't.
Do you want me to pause it? Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking too, as Sonny's talking. You know, I'm possibly thinking that those kind of deals with people like Judy Garland too, Elvis kind of knew he had the ability to look at those kind of situations and go, you know, at the end of the day, this is going to be an exploitation rap for me. People are doing this just to say, oh my God, I'm working with Elvis, and they're gonna milk it for all it's worth. It's not a case of he's doing the project because he feels passionate about it.
Yeah.
Just something I thought of.
Yeah, that's a good point. I can't picture that with Judy Garland though, but I don't know.
No.
I never really thought she had a great voice.
Well, what do you think about this whole conversation about the Colonel? I mean, this be true, and he has gotten a bad rap on some things.
Yes, I do think.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's gotten a bad rap on some things. Yeah,
Yes.
I've always believed that. My opinion has always been that after, from 60 on, Parker was way over his head.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
he got to a certain point, and he did what he did, the Carney trick, and it worked to make Elvis the top best, and and his level of Elvis. No matter what you say about the movies and the music during that time, he still was probably the top entertainer in the world as far as not being known and all that. I mean, he got his name out there. But Parker's greed and his lack of inability to handle anything past 1960 or even 58, I think
Yep.
and that do I think that Parker I think Parker somewhere in his heart looked at Elvis as a son
Yes.
and did all the way till he died, and I think Elvis looked at him as not a father, but maybe as a father type figure.
Yes.
And he knows very well that it was Parker that got him to be who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and knowing Elvis's loyalty to people, I think that was the thing that hurt Elvis. I hate to say that loyalty would hurt him being loyal, but you could still be loyal to somebody and say, we have to move on now.
Yes.
I've got if you care enough about me to let me go and pursue other things that you don't want to be a part of, then you know.
Yeah, and just to answer Kathleen's questions, what I said earlier, Kathleen, I do believe that uh, the guys wrote the book from the perception that, again, putting myself in that position, I know if I would have a specific problem about something, and I know I'm talking from experience, I did things as a younger guy that I today regret, and a lot of my family spoke to me about those things. And whenever it comes from a friend or a family member, you always have the attitude, oh, yeah, really? Do you have to really beat this horse again? I don't want to hear about it. But the moment that same situation comes via a third party, somebody that's outside of it, and they come to you and talk to you about it, immediately you go, okay, wait, I need to do something here, because either I feel embarrassed, or I'm going to be embarrassed about it, or I'm going to feel a certain sense of shame about it.
Mhm.
In those certain situations, when it comes from a third party person, then you automatically, I know in my case, I would then realize, okay, I need to do something here about this. So I think from that perspective, yeah, that might have been their motivation, to think that, we've been talking to him about this for years, and because it's coming from us, he's not listening. So maybe if we can kind of get this get him to get the message via a third party, whether it be in a print form or
Mhm.
from somebody outside of us. Maybe he would then take note and realize how bad the situation is. I think that the intention from their side was good, thinking, okay, let's go to somebody that can write a book, or somebody that's in the media. We'll get an advanced copy of the manuscript, and Elvis will be able to get hold of it. And once he sees it on paper, he'll realize, okay, wait, I need to I need to kill this fire before it burns. But unfortunately, it backfired for them, in the sense that they didn't go to somebody who shared their concern. So,
I think that Sonny and Red went in with that motion. I think Dave was just pure pissed.
yes,
I
yes,
don't think he ever had. I don't think he really, at that point, give a shit whether the book helped him. He just wanted to get his words out there, and
yes,
because look at him today, he's still the same way.
yeah.
So we got about 2 minutes left. We'll finish
Who
this
is,
off. Oh,
who's,
go ahead, Joe.
who's still the same way?
Dave Hebler.
See, I wish I could play that talk that I had with him, but I can't. Like I said, I won't until he passes.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. That'll be. I hope I'm around. We're ready for that, because I would love to hear that. Um.
I'll
All right.
send.
Yeah, and I did get your emails. Just
Okay,
let you know.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And,
So he wouldn't have so much time off in between to do what he was doing to himself, Joe. Carmen
Really?
was aware of it. It concerned him. We talked about it every tour once it started getting bad. And
Yeah.
'74 and '75, we talked about it every time. He would ask me when I would join him on tour to start setting up security and everything to go out on the pre-tour, and he'd say, "How's he doing?" I was about the same, or a little bit worse, Colonel. We got to keep him working and have so much time off, so he won't have time to do so much.
What was going on with him? I mean, he just fell apart. I mean,
I know it. I think that it all boils down to one thing, Joe. He had an addictive nature, and if you have that, then whatever it is that you're addicted to, you fight it all your life, and that's the only thing. That's the only thing I know that beat Elvis. Everything else, he beat it. I mean, any challenge that came to him is such a strong constitution, but an addiction is just. I mean,
we can do it.
Look at Robin Williams after 20 years.
Yeah.
So you fight it every day.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson, look at it. These are extremely talented people, just like Elvis was extremely talented. But there's something that gets you. And I go out and I used to go speak to high school students, and then middle school, and now I'm at the elementary level of it. I go out and speak to 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and explain to them, ask them my whole thing after I say hi, who I am, and everything. And I know that some of you probably don't know the name of Elvis Presley, but your moms and grandmoms, and because always there's at least several that say, oh, I do. My mom and grandma told me, and I listen to his music and watch his movies. But then I ask them the question, do any of you know what an addictive nature is? None of them know. I said, that's a very big word, isn't it?
I have it.
Addictive. I said, well, what it is, it's something that is inside of some people that if they find something that they like, then they just have to have it. And I said, sometimes some people are addicted to things, rarely, but like ice cream or sodas, and they just drink them, a case of them a day, or they eat a gallon of ice cream a day, and this is bad.
I lost you. You there?
It's in part one, yeah. So Elvis, what I can't make sense of is Red said in Marty's book they were fired over the lawsuits. What, those were the lawsuits where they hurt people, beat them up, or something? Was that the thought?
Well, they did do that, but I think they were just rough. I don't think they purposely beat them up. Except that one guy that tried to get in, the drunk, who tried to get in the the suite at that time. But I mean, the letter from I might have told you that on another show. Did I tip about the letter about the two people who were they were being rough to somebody else, so they got kind of in the middle of it and they broke their camera? Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah,
I think that type of thing was happening, so they were getting sued, but they didn't sue them. Verdon took care of it and stuff like that. But they were rough, and I think that was one of the reasons. Right. Who was it? Larry Geller said to me, "Here you got pit bulls. These guys were pit bulls, and they weren't able to get out their stress. Their you know what I'm trying to say? Because these guys were. This is what they did. They were pit bulls, and they wanted to do something."
Wow.
So it got a little rough.
At the end of the day, I think I would be the same. I mean, if I had a friend that I really cared about, and I knew that he had a problem with regard to whatever, and I knew there were other people keeping him in that destructive cycle, I would also threaten to blow the guy's brains out or give him a hiding. It's a natural response, but at the same time, do you guys think that at certain times, as much as Elvis had control over being Elvis, I think a lot of the time his addiction was a way for him to try and control the uncontrollable. I think sometimes the magnetism and the size of being Elvis Presley was even at times for Elvis too hard and too difficult to control from a perspective of this thing that I'm in is so huge that even at times I don't know how to navigate it.
Well, didn't he made the statement a few times? I'm tired of being Elvis. I
Yes,
just want to be myself, Elvis.
You see,
yes,
I asked several times in different interviews, was he ever tired of being Elvis? And they said no. But I think a lot of it with the addiction is just downright stress, and I'm in no
yeah,
control of my life.
Yeah.
yes,
I can control the pills. Like I said,
yeah,
I've had problems with pills, especially because of the health problems that I have. It's very easy to get lost into something like that, and
Lamar
yeah.
Lamar says Elvis died of terminal What does terminal apathy mean?
Means you're just so apathetic. You're just so bored that
mhm.
you don't
Yep.
see a
That's
way
what
out.
Yeah, that's what she says now. Elvis girl made that remark. Amy made that remark. And yeah, he was tired, man. He was. I mean, you think about he was on a nonstop train from 1953 on,
Yeah.
54 on. I
Uh,
mean, when you think about it, when did he really ever go away? I think what would have been wonderful for him to be able to do, and it should have happened earlier than just before he died. I would say like around 73, 74. Say, guys, I'm packing it up for a year. I'm
yeah.
taking it off. I'm going to regroup. I'm going to get some rest. And then he could have just got himself fixed himself. Go away, go somewhere or whatever.
But
Um, get
yeah,
away from that. Get away from that environment, and I think it would have turned. I think things, the physical ailments he had, was that really basically going to be terminal? Maybe, but maybe we could have got another 10 or 20 years out of him.
You
I,
ain't
I I think at the same time too, it's important to remember, again, speaking from personal experience, you guys might have something to add to this too, is that in my mind, I believe um, an addiction, I look at addiction, when I look at it to try and explain it, I say this, that a certain behavior is learned for a specific reason, but the continuation of that behavior
Yeah,
is an entirely different reason altogether. And in my mind, addiction usually stems out of my perspective. Addiction starts when you find yourself in a certain life situation that you feel you literally don't have control over and you don't know how to make headway of it or how to move through it. So you look to something to try and help you navigate whatever that situation is. And before you realize it, you are in a pattern of repetitive behavior that becomes addiction. And then that in itself becomes an endless loop because you might realize that you are in a bad situation, but at the same time, adding to what you've just said, is that as much as the size of being Elvis exhausted Elvis, I think the fear of not knowing how to be Elvis without being Elvis
yeah,
was greater to him
yeah,
than and sometimes that fear outweighs everything else
yeah,
because the soon as somebody says, okay, you've been, for an example, addicted to alcohol for 20 years, 25 years of your life for whatever reason, uh, you find yourself going to that substance to help you through a situation, you at some point realize that, okay, this alcohol is killing me. But at the same time, the fear of uh, what is my life going to be without this protective bubble,
mhm.
that fear becomes so large and so petrifying that you would rather continue doing what you're doing in the hope that you keep going until you find something that seems a little bit easier to go to, something that's going to guide you out of it a little bit more gently.
You know,
And I think in Elvis's case, that's a very huge likely possibility, because if we think about it, Elvis hadn't ever been normal prior to the age of 18.
yeah, no, he never lived a normal life.
No.
You know, Amy just reminded me. I heard him say before, and I heard somebody else say it before, too. But Elvis wanted to take some time off after that last tour,
Yes.
and changed it. There were talks about a new manager and just going in a totally new direction.
Never would
And
happen.
he could have done it, but
It never would
I mean,
happen.
what do you think, Joe? I mean, I think he was. I think he was in a rut from 1960 on.
Yes.
I don't think it ever would have happened though. Him taking a year off,
Yeah.
because a lot of the guys say that it was Elvis that was asking to work.
Yeah, well, but I think he had in his mind he had to work to keep the guys he was supporting
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
and I think that if somebody could have got him, or he could have just come to the resolve to say, "I'm taking this time off. You guys go find another freaking job. I'm not supporting you this time. Yeah, I'm not supporting you during this time. I got to take care of myself right now. I've been taking care of you guys for 20 freaking years. It's time for me to take." But that's not Elvis. That's not
Yeah.
something that would come out of Elvis.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
at the same time, like I said, at the same time, I think even though he knew he needed to do that, the fear within himself of, okay, I'm Elvis Presley. This is what I've been doing since I was 18 years old. Uh, how do I actually wake up tomorrow and sit back in a recliner chair for a year and say, fuck it, I'm just gonna rest?
yeah, and I fault the people around him for not encouraging him to do that. Not the thing
Yes,
about people like Elvis, where you can't say no to Elvis, or you don't tell Elvis what to do. Well, you know what you know what you do. I don't like to say it like that. You know what you do?
You tell them anyway.
You encourage him, or say, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if you did this?"
yes,
You know,
create the safe space.
instead of and making it his decision, instead of going to say, "Elvis, man, you need to take some time off, man. You're killing yourself." You're not going to tell Elvis that. But
Yeah,
if you encourage us, hey, and take it in a positive way, why don't you
yes,
let's just take some time off, And it couldn't be one of the guys. It had to be somebody close to him, like
yes,
a girl, like a Linda Thompson,
yes.
or somebody that he trusted.
Hmm.
Billy Smith, or just
Some
anybody that was, Donna. It's just somebody.
You know,
somebody that could have said to him, you know what, it's okay. Even if you wake up tomorrow and you don't do jack shit for the whole day, you just breathe,
Yeah,
just rest. It's okay. Whatever you choose to do, it's okay. I'm still gonna be here.
yeah.
In that sense, create create the
You got to
change
make it
that
his
needed.
idea. You got to make it his. Let him do it.
Yeah.
Then you don't come back and say, "I told you so."
Yeah. Yes.
You could be writing a book called Elvis: What Happened to the What Happened.
but
Yes.
with the addiction thing, I think a lot of it was stress.
Oh,
I also think he took a lot of the drugs too because I think he hated the way he looked. I think he just hated the way he
well,
looked.
yeah, I think so too. I think he was. When I watched, and I hate it.
He's
I
constantly,
don't watch it. Part. What's that?
he's constantly asking people, "How did I look? And how do you think I look?" And blah blah blah, blah like that.
Yeah, well,
Hell of an ego.
yeah, and when you watch that last concert, which is so hard to do I could listen to it all day long, but I can't watch it. And you could just tell how that he just felt. I think there was at somewhat certain times when he just felt subconscious of how he looked.
Sure.
And he knew it wasn't a dummy. He knew that what it was like, and he'd spent the majority, 80% of his career, the best looking, best in shape, the best entertainer, and then all of a sudden, it's like you're on a downhill trip, and It's just it's
You know, I often look at this kind of situation and I
yeah.
try and put myself in that situation to think, can you guys imagine how frustrating it must be to take something as simple as, and I apologize if somebody takes offense to what I'm going to say, but that's how I see it. Can you imagine how frustrating it must be to think, my God, I can't even go and take a shit without the world knowing about it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's true. I mean, yeah, I
You must eventually get to the point where you look at yourself and go, what the fuck do I do? I can't even spit on the ground
you know how
like
many
a regular guy without fucking light bulbs of cameras going off, or a television guy sticking a damn camera in my face, or my telephone's being tapped, or somebody walking through the gates of my house, and immediately I have to go, okay, is this guy here to really visit with me, or does this guy want something? It must be fucking so destroying to live a life like that. And of course, in those kind of situations, then what else do? You can't go and talk to somebody because you don't know who the fuck to trust.
you and I talk about this in the inside the studio episodes that we do when we're talking about Elvis, and you try. I've always been somebody who tries to get in their head. What are they thinking about at this moment? What are they? I don't think I could I could handle being in his mind those last
Now,
couple of years. I don't
now,
think I would want to know what he was thinking because I think it would literally break my heart
yes,
because and then
I mean, it's we always come back to this, and for me, it's a fucking huge statement to make. Can you imagine looking outside of a window and you standing there with somebody else in the room, and you've got millions of thoughts running through your head, and the only thought that you can verbalize to this person is, "Do you think they're going to remember me when I'm gone?"
yeah, that
Mhm.
was important to him. And no matter what people say about Elvis, he had he had to me a healthy ego.
Yes, he just wanted somebody to acknowledge and appreciate his existence as a human being, not as an entity, not as a money making machine, not as a financial supplier, not as an emotional support structure, just as a human being with flesh and blood.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I can do this show anymore because you two are too damn smart. See, I'm sitting here going, God damn, I believe what he's saying.
Dude. Well, I guess we can call ourselves. No, I can't even think of anything right now. Right now.
Yeah, I agree with Jerry 100%. I agree 100%. Can you imagine the sense of loneliness this guy must have felt to
Yeah, I
think
read a
that?
lot of things in different people's book where Elvis would be in a room packed full of people and he felt lonely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because nobody really got
like
it.
that. Yeah.
What's that, Joe?
So yeah, there's people that feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I mean, you guys know, you guys grew up in those times too. We have to take into account. You guys weren't as blessed as we were, where it was normal and societally correct to be able to go to somebody else and say, "Hey, man, I'm sitting with this issue. I really don't know my ass from my elbow here. I need a hand. Give me some sense of direction. Help me out here. How do I make head or tail of this?" You guys didn't have those luxuries when you guys were growing up, because you guys were taught you're a man, and whatever your shit is, that's your shit. You deal with it.
Mhm. Those times. What does he mean by that, Brett?
I know he's feeling insulting right now.
Asshole.
Yeah,
Gee, those times.
he's gone.
Gone. He's out. He's history.
Adios, muchachos.
I mean, even for me, I kind of grew up like that because my dad was like that. I mean, only within the last year of my life has my dad been able to come to the realization that he calls it a militaristic way of growing up. He says only within the last year of his life, being 68 years old, he's realized that, the way I grew up wasn't necessarily the right way. uh, Growing up hard, yes, it has its positives, but it also in many times has its negatives. And he's often said to me that he apologizes to
Mm.
me that he was never there as a father because he never spoke from a perception of understanding and judging from my shoes. He always judged and put expectations onto me uh, through societal expectation.
Mm.
And I myself have only within the last year of my life been able to, I mean, Rick can attest to this. There have
Mhm.
been times where I make a call to him in the middle of the night, and and
Yeah. See, Cat, Rick and Joe weren't in World War II.
no, they made it just out in time. Um, I've made calls to him in the middle of the nights where I haven't had to say a word. He looks at me and he goes, "Dude, are you okay?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
and
can
I
tell when he comes. Well, the first time I say, because every time he pops in, and I could tell within 30 seconds whether he's had a bad day or not.
Yeah. And there have been times where I hold back the stuff, and he said to me, "No, it's okay. Let it out. It's okay." And that's in my opinion, those kind of things have only started changing within the last 30 to 35 years.
The
Before,
proudest thing my brothers, when my brothers were here a couple of weeks ago, we actually probably had the very first um, really in depth conversation about our lives. It was 8, 9, 10 straight hours of. Actually, I remembered a lot of my signage coming back, so it was a lot of conversation about things. And I asked them a question, and I told them, I said, I want you guys to be honest with me. And I said, I know you will. I said, but I'm asking you a question that I wouldn't ask anybody else. Okay. I said, how do you think? No, some question. How did I word this? I said, what do you think of me as a person? Now, before I answer that, or what they said, I've said this many times on this show about my upbringing. I was brought up in a very religious background. My mother we were raised Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what my mother was from the time I was 2 years old. When I got to an older age, I decided it wasn't for me. I have nothing against the religion whatsoever. Um, but that's what we were brought up, and so we were brought up with very strict morals and things like that, which basically that upbringing kept me from a lot of trouble. But I asked them what they think of me.
outside of outside of those labels and conditioning.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about me as a brother and a person? Because the
Yeah.
last thing I said to my mother, and I asked them a question because they were in the room with my mother when I was in the hospital when she passed away, and we did a cell phone call, and they went up, and of course, my brothers couldn't hear what I was saying because so they took the phone over to my mom, and she was in a coma. And I guess I don't know what level of coma would be. I don't know anything about levels.
One
But
bucks.
they said she hadn't for a couple of days. There'd been no activity whatsoever as far as movement. Um, so I said, please put the phone next to her. I want to say some last words to her. And outside of some of the things I said, I just at the end said, I hope I made you proud. And she opened her fucking eyes. My brother said they couldn't believe it. And so, I asked them the question of what they thought of me, not if they were proud of me. And they told me that one of the most giving people that ever known to try to help people to do things. And
Yeah.
I'm writing my book about it, growing up with two deaf brothers, and I tell some of those stories in there. And I'm proud of that. That's what I'm proud about most with my life is that I've always been somebody that wants to help people,
Mhm.
Mm.
whatever I got to do, and that makes me feel good.
Mm.
And
I'm sorry.
so
Sorry.
no, that's all right.
Kathleen Weidenbacher says we are all in therapy right now in this chat.
Yeah, we got a great community here, and I feel I would have not talked like this a couple of years ago, but we've got such a great family, and Cam has taught me a lot. So so going back to Elvis on this conversation, I can understand that thought where he's saying, do the people that I've done these things for, do they really at least appreciate what I did for them?
Yes.
He's not going to ask them, hey, do you appreciate what I did for you? But
Yeah.
I'm sure in his mind, he thought that. Do they really? He knew that Lisa did, or he knew
Yeah.
which ones were. But I'm quite sure that he had a lot of doubt about any of the guys that work for him. Some of the guys that saying that all they're here for is the buck,
Yeah.
and for the fame and the girls and the drugs and whatever they could get their hands on because of Elvis.
That's what
Mm.
Vernon did. Vernon, I think that's what Vernon saw in some of them. And maybe him being such a prick.
Yeah.
He saw this and, other guys were saying he's such an asshole, blah, 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 like that. But
Mm.
I think he really cared about Elvis, but I also think, I'm sure he did. He was his dad. But I also think he didn't want to be poor again. And that's why he watched that money so much.
Yeah.
I think also I thought about this earlier, and you always have that. You always have that possibility with any relationship. You don't even have to be a celebrity to stand uh, to be in that position. But also, people do. Unfortunately, majority of people always have a vindictive streak in them at some point, and sometimes I think, to add on to what Joe says, is sometimes when you have a perception of somebody and you realize that you're in a position of power to some extent, you will sometimes exercise that uh, perception to influence that person in power to cause a situation to go in a certain way. What I'm trying to say is that maybe there were just people in the group that Vernon didn't like because he didn't like them. And he figured, oh, well, if I make up a story or if I push the narrative to Elvis about person X long enough, they're going to get the message and they're going to get the hell out of the way.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you what, their reaction to being fired, how they did it, to me, is kind of justification for why they did it. Why
Exactly.
Vernon got rid of him. Because, how do you, I just couldn't do that to somebody that I worked for 20 years, had a close relationship, or however many years they worked, 15 to 20 years, day in, day out next to Elvis the whole time. And then the reason for whatever reason they got them, they weren't exactly the most straight guys as far as not doing things that they shouldn't, really shouldn't be doing it. And some of the things that could have cost reputation on Elvis. And I don't know what Vernon said to Elvis, but
We
I just
also,
think that there was a justification for them because of what they did. If they never did anything and walked away and made a life of their own, I would have thought, why did they fire them?
yeah.
But, with the fact that they went and immediately went out there and we've already had the book discussion and did that. To me, there's a sense of justification for that, and that's just my opinion on that.
Well, I think a
And
lot of Vernon, I'm sorry. I think a lot
go
of
ahead. Joe.
too was to, God, this is 3 people I can get off the pay list.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure that Vernon thought that way.
We also don't know what Elvis said to Vernon.
Right.
There's always a possibility that Elvis told Vernon to do it straight up the way he would have. Elvis put trust in his father to do it decently, to do it civilly, to do it humanely. and Vernon betrayed his trust because Vernon had his own agenda. Like Joe says, oh, 3 more guys that are off the payroll. So Elvis might have said to his father, Daddy, do it like this. Give him a couple months' pay. Uh, but in 2 or 3 months, I'm going to call him back. I just want to prove a point here, or I want to drive a message home. Do it like this. And Vernon turned around and yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, but turned around and in his own mind went, okay, this is my perfect opportunity. I'm getting rid of 3 guys here. It means we're going to have X amounts of dollars extra per week coming in. You know what? I don't like them anyway. So I'm going to tell them Elvis said ABC, XYZ. They're going to pack their things. They're going to piss off. They're going to be none the wiser ever.
And they get 2 weeks.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
it happened.
do you like the interview so far?
Interesting.
I love that.
conversation.
That's great. I love hearing Sonny talk. Sonny talks like Sam Thompson does. You can he's engaging to listen to his stories, and that has a lot to do with how they feel about what they're telling, and the emotions and everything comes through in the voice. And because I've seen other interviews where it's just like
Mechanical.
blah 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 blah. Yeah. So what did Elvis blah 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 type of thing.
It's another one of those 2 guys talking thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And that,
credit goes to you as far as how these interviews go because you drive it perfectly. You don't even. I feel like 2 guys just sitting there talking. I don't feel like it's an interview.
no, and his memory is so clear. It's like
Yeah,
it's like he's recounting stories that happened yesterday.
yeah. Who was it we watched? We were watching somebody, or we were listening to somebody. Well, it was the Marty Lacker one where it was just he's just talking. He's telling the stories. There's no script. Send me the questions you're going to ask me before we do this interview so I can prepare for it. There's none of that shit.
No.
Kathleen needs some Elvis pajamas so we can sit in a circle and share. You give me now. I've got a
Well, if
mental
it's
image of that, and I'm
if
not
it
going to say it's not pleasant.
if it's anything to go by, if the radio show last night
Oh
was
my God.
anything to go by,
You guys missed a fun radio show last night. We have a new person to introduce the next block of songs. What's it? Lucius Larry.
tell
He's a little light in the loafers.
tell the rest, tell Joe and the rest of the guys what you said about pajamas in the radio show.
I can't remember now.
He-
What I say about pajamas?
Rick came on the radio show and he said,
Oh, I said, all right. Tonight's show is a come as you are, and no clothes are an option. Or no, clothes are not an option.
"Yeah,
And somebody, oh well, we digressed on our Friday night show.
I don't have any pants on right now, so
You know what? I had an image of Kathleen in pajamas, and now you just ruined it. Now I'm going to be stuck with Joe with no pants on. I would get out of my head. You know what was really? It was kind of, and this is how in tune we are with each other in this community. Hey, what's up? What are you barking at, Bailey?
it's going shoot the yellow dog.
Shoot the dog. No, I'm going to shoot my dog. So we got such a great community. We got pretty much a regular following on our radio show. So last night, Bailey,
give her a bone."
Naked radio.
looking
We'd have a lot of people come.
there's nobody in there. She's barking at the cat.
Cam got it. He probably got it. I was so sorry. I was waiting for Cam. Come on, buddy.
So last night,
I'm a bit slow.
we take requests and all that as we're doing the show. So last night, I have a playlist of most frequently requested songs, so I'm ready to put them in there. Hey, here, come meet this.
Oh, Stella's gonna go sleep. Team Elvis.
It's got a sleeping pill in it. No. I would never do that to my dogs. So
No.
anyway, I got this playlist. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put this song up, and it was Dixieland Rock. And just as I loaded up to get ready to play, Kathleen pops in, will you play Dixieland Rock? And I told Cam, "Look, I want you to witness this. You see that I put this in before she," and he goes, yeah. And then there was another song, did the same thing again. I'm just like, she's not going to believe it. She's not going to believe it. But we're in tune with it. We know what everybody likes for songs, you know? It's great. It's fun. Those Friday night radio shows are a lot of fun.
You Nostradamus? Jeez.
No, I'm just a poor boy with a sense of ESP. I don't know. Oh, look, my Nana's here. My Nana.
Boy, that was a cheap one, but it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, that's my Nana.
Yeah, you have to remember to get that picture of the lady that had the 160.
Oh my God, yeah. We'll have it ready.
It's cool to laugh at stuff.
Yeah.
You have to find that whole story and then read it to Joe like
Yeah,
you
we'll have to
taught me that Sunday.
Yeah, we'll have to get Joe on that one. Well, Joe's gonna expect it, but we'll read you the whole story. Okay, guys. Well, shit, 2.5 hours, man. This went fast.
Like the radio.
Great interview. We got part 2 next week, and actually the third part I think is shorter, isn't it? Okay, hold on a second. Guys.
I think
Something's cooking in the land of low.
What the hell?
No, Bailey's really barking like somebody's out there.
They never bark. That's why. And, I got the cameras. I got the camera on the living room, which is the only way to get back here. And she's standing outside my door barking, so I know it's the cat. It's got to be the cat. It's not Finnegan. If Finnegan could, he would take his little toes and go like that to her.
Take care, guys.
All right, Joe. Thanks.
No, I'm talking to Kathleen Weidenbacher. Oh, they had fun last night.
Oh,
somebody's leaving. Oh, Elvis, and I can never get that one. Elvis and Dentertainment. Elvis and Dan Entertainment.
Where's that? Where you
Elvis
reading?
And Elvis ELBIS.
Oh, it's Natalie. Elvis and Entertainment.
Oh,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Say that with a couple of gummies in, would you?
There you go. I can't speak at all with a couple of gummies in me.
All right, guys. Well, so Joe, that was great. I enjoyed that one. So next week is part 2. Then we got part 3. Given how long we took today, we'll probably be doing this for the next couple of weeks. And if the third one's short, we'll probably add another one in there. Now, I do want to do one more thing here. This is only 60 seconds. It's a video.
Looking for trouble? You came to the right place.
Sorry, guys, wrong one.
Hey. Hi, Sonny.
Okay, so I was on the right page. All right, so on Monday, it will be 52 years since I saw Elvis at the LA Forum wearing the peacock suit for the first time. Here's a 60-second clip from that concert singing Can't Help Falling in Love.
Watch that!
You look good.
Yeah.
It was a great show. It's the only time he ever sang "You Can Have Her," Roy Hamilton's old song, and that blew the roof off. So my brothers remember him singing that song when we went to the show. That one, he remembers that, and "Amen" and "Why Me, Lord," because of JD's a really low voice here. Yeah. All right, yeah, the long goodbye. Well, we are gone. Cam, Joe, thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure.
And Joe, you're welcome at any show you want to join us in.
I mean,
and then I think that's it. Let me see. What have I got for a quick out? Nothing. Okay, here we go. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, guys. See